They look a lot different when they're all
Isn't
together.
that crazy? Did you ever realize sand comes in so many colors?
They look like spices from
and
far away.
textures?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Milwaukee, Cozumel,
Wow.
and Fort Myers Beach is in here somewhere. One of these.
One of the
Ours
lighter
looks
ones.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, ours looks like. That's Ireland. Here's Fort Myers Beach.
Mm.
The Chamber of Commerce says businesses along Sanibel and Fort Myers Beach have lost over $40 million due to red tide.
It's bad news for business owners. High season will help them recover from a devastating summer.
It's not looking good for the future. I mean, I've canceled my trips the last few weeks.
It's a black mark on Southwest Florida. We're all hoping this goes away very soon. But what will it take to take out red tide?
So we just got here to Longboat Key, Florida. And there's what looks to be thousands of dead fish on the shore.
Observing destruction through media is something we love to do, being shared over and over again until millions of people are aware of the destruction of the area. This creates a network of individuals observing the destruction. Not only are they observing it, but loving it, and therefore creating disaster porn.
But I'll forgive you and turn the page, 'cause life's far.
The old man bites dog, dog bites man. You know, if dog bites man, that's not news. Man bites dog, that's news. It's unusual that the water's dirty or that there's red tide. So whether it's 1 or 2 days or 1 or 2 weeks or 1 or 2 months, it's still unusual. And it's still something that we report because people's livelihoods are dependent on it.
Porn, often used as a suffix denoting an excessive, overly aestheticized focus on a single topic. For example, when I'm watching the cooking channel with my family, we describe it as food porn. You ever see this in sports with all the injury porn? Nevertheless, disaster porn has become increasingly more common. So much so that the term has been added to Australia's Mercury Dictionary. Fort Myers Beach has been attacked and ran through the mud by the red tide outbreak.
It's just, at a loss. You can't, when you're thigh deep in red drift algae with dead animals in it, and as far as you can see dead animals floating in the Gulf, you can't really wrap your head around that.
This red tide is naturally occurring, but has been influenced and strengthened by Lake Okeechobee's water release, a catalyst to an already heinous issue that has hurt Fort Myers Beach tourism industry.
My next door neighbor runs fishing charters. I mean, in August, he had 3 days out. He said a normal August for me is 10. So he's got 3 kids and a wife, and so what don't you buy because your income is down?
This outbreak has hurt small businesses, from hotels to restaurants to our ever-crucial tourism industry.
We lost a ton of reservations because we were honest with people. We told people if they're just down here to have a drink at a bar and just hang out, that it's fine. But if you're going to go in the water, I wouldn't recommend it. So we had a lot of cancellations. I mean, we probably lost 40% of our business.
This all loops back to disaster porn and the rapid spread of communication. Images of dead fish covering the white sugar beaches have flooded throughout the media outlets. A family surfing through the web, looking for vacation ideas, will surely be tuned away from images when dead fish blanketing the beaches appearing on their newsfeed.
It's more and more with social media. People can talk about it all the time and they can kind of multiply. But I think it's basically the same principle that's always been. It's just it gives people an amplified opportunity.
As cultural critics from Marshall McLuhan to Benedict Anderson have noted, nation states cannot function without a mass media to help members imagine themselves as a part of the larger group. This, however, hurts communities affected by the disaster.
One of the origins in some way of nationalism are precisely the fact that these huge reading publics come into existence, but these reading publics are territorially and linguistically bounded. And this, again, is a very important part of that sort of confidence, which is essential to making the imagined community of the nation real to people.
It's important. We need to report on it so that our politicians do something, but they're also very sensitive, like we were just talking about, to making sure that they can make a living. So yeah, we hear from everybody. We hear from all sides. The best way that we can think of to be fair is that we really keep focused on reporting changes, reporting things that you don't expect.
Don't forget me, I beg you. I'm staring
Here lies the ultimate question. How does Fort Myers Beach regain their tourism back? After being brutally attacked by the red tide through the spread of communication, by virtue of disaster porn.
I think people are concerned, I think they're engaged, and I don't think nothing is going to happen. We've already had word assigned into law by President Trump that gives us $200 million to match the state's $200 million to build the southern reservoir. That's a great start.
You can't just test the water when you have red tide. You have to test the water when it's good. So when things do change, you can see it coming and know what's going on. And on a federal level, we have to send the water south. I mean, we're starting to do that, but it's going to be a 5 to 10 year process. And quite honestly, small business people don't have 5 or 10 years to wait.
Oh, don't forget me, I beg you.